All right, welcome back, guys. So I stopped briefly, check tires. That's a good thing to do when you are doing any type of towing. Check tires and stuff. We are getting ready for the westbound ascent to the Ike Tunnel. Got our IR thermometer here so we can check brake temps after we come down into Silverthorne, and then I will check brake temps when we come back over on the eastbound descent also. All right, so as we get going here, so far, engine temps stayed right where they needed to be. Transmissions stayed right there. I will give you guys the average of what we came out with. So somebody the other day was saying, well, you do a lot of towing under the speed limit. Well, keep in mind, guys, you need to make sure you check your tire ratings on your trailers, because a lot of times these smaller trailers, including tent trailers, those tires aren't made to do 75 mile an hour, but you'll need to check that. So when people say, well, I would tow this is 80 mile an hour, well, keep in mind, trailer tires are not as robust as your tires on your truck. So they heat up, they blow, and you got more problems than you really need to do it. So sometimes it's actually, you just need to stay within your lawful and actual vehicle and trailer set spec speed. Again, it's not about, can it do it? Sure. This truck right here has had no problems going up and down the hill at the speed limit, but we like keeping it in check. All right, so our first sign there says vehicles 26,000 or more gross vehicle weight rating need to use the right lane. Of course, you can pass when need be unless it says you cannot pass. So that's just for that. Also coming down the hill, I've talked about speeds before and said, everybody's like, well, the Ike tunnel speed limit is this. Yes, depending on I'm usually in a semi, so for me the speeds are always slower. Maybe not by choice, but a lot of times they are slower just because that's what they choose to be safer. So again, I'm not gonna go 65 up this hill because again, I'm already having to tap the brakes. The truck's got this guy just passed me because he had speed and momentum coming around the bend and then lost it. But unfortunately for me, I don't have room to pass for a second. So I'm going to see if this person will let me in the Subaru. I'm gonna go anyway. So we're gonna get around this guy. But the Chevy is getting up to that peak horsepower making range. We're cruising right by this guy. So again, I lost my momentum, so keeping in mind, no matter what vehicle you are, you're gonna have to get into it to get around it. Now, if I would have been able to keep my speed and just get over, the truck wouldn't even be working that hard. So again, back to the variable speed boards. Here in the mountains, they will change those based on weather conditions, based on, well, whatever, even traffic volume. They will change those signs at will. So when I say, oh, it's 35, it might have been 35 last time I saw it. But for the most part, it is going to be 60 going up the eastbound side of the Ike. So right now, again, I like keeping this around 5 to 10 under, but to keep it with the Ford, we'll keep it at the 60. Coming out of the westbound side of the tunnel, I am going to set it at 40. And the reason being is that is the steepest, longest decline you're probably going to face without having like just a small incline or a level out here. And I want to see how it'll do versus the Ford, because yesterday, and you'll see it in that video, which will be linked below, where it does kind of show that there were more brake inputs even using the cruise, but I'm gonna try and keep it under it. But yeah, the Ford lets you get up there. So we'll see what the Chevy does, because what I've seen in the Chevy is it likes to keep you right where you have it set. But again, we have a lot of weight behind us, and going down that, we are going to pick up mass, I guess, if you will, not the weight of the trailer, but just like overall velocity is going to push us down, making that trailer way more. So the truck's going to have to work harder. But I mean, so far so good. Again, I will do an average temp. The highest I've seen it so far was right about 201, I think, and that was going up a long pole. So we'll see right here. Maybe I don't have, oh, there we go. I didn't have it set at 60, so we'll get it to the 60. I have not hit 5,000 yet. In the plains, believe it or not, we did hit the 5,000 mark. But again, that's where these engines are set to make their horsepower. So you really can't get too fidgety about that. Again, these engines are backed with a powertrain warranty. So if the truck's been good, people are saying, well, what if it blows up at 50? Well, you're going to get a new motor. I don't know what to tell you, but you're going to have to do that. And as long as you mitigate and don't abuse, do your oil changes, check oil, whatnot, your maintenance. These are cast iron block engines, so you're good. A while back, somebody did question why, you know, don't they just use the 6.2 gas Chevy engine that's in half tons versus this, because it produces similar horsepower and torque. Well, the reason is because that has an aluminum block. Aluminum doesn't do as well dissipating heat, and it's also just not going to be able to handle that heavy workload as well as this. So that's why they needed some type of heavy duty gas engine to come up against the diesel, to give people another option, because otherwise people had to go diesel or had to go with the old 6.0. I don't see any manufacturer going away from having at least one large engine in the heavy duty segment, where one gas, one diesel at least. You know, Ford did design the 6.8 Babyzilla. That's very comparable in horsepower and torque to this. I've driven one, it's a fantastic engine. But that one, they do get a different version of the 10-speed versus the 7.3 and the Power Stroke. So there is some give and take there. So, all right, guys. Well, we're doing well on the climb here. We'll just see how it goes. So one thing we will do is the on the eastbound Ike actual Gauntlet drive, guys, we will match the speed limit, or at least attempt to keep it at the speed limit. We did the same thing yesterday with the Ford, because that's what everybody wants to know, is can it maintain speed. So we're good there. Kind of a beautiful shot there. I see this all the time. This is what I drive in all the time. So I mean, I guess sometimes I don't appreciate as much as I do, but as other people, but it is pretty. But I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I mean, this is as loud as it gets. I mean, it hasn't hit 5,000 RPM. And I think you'll notice just there's a huge difference in the pasture area of the truck versus the Godzilla. You can always hear the Zilla working. I'm telling you, you can hear it every day of the week, even just normal driving. You can tell. And again, if you guys have watched the other videos up to this, both on the Ford side and the Chevy side, what I commonly see is guys pulling small light load, lighter with what I'm towing with this, with a diesel. Now, keeping in mind, this truck itself will do better with a lighter trailer, a lighter load. So, you know, if you're like, wow, that seems like it's working. Well, if your needs don't get over 10,000 pounds, you got to realize this has got about 3,000 pounds on that. So I mean, every pound does the different here. So we're rounding out the last few curves. So guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscription button down there in the corner of this video. If you don't see it, flip your screen sideways. If you're watching on your phone, it'll be down there, or scroll down to the comment section where you can subscribe, because this series is going to be a blast. Again, the eastbound or infamous Ike Gauntlet Challenge. I guess I may be the first with a 6.6 10-speed Allison gasser from GM going up it. It's my understanding a true follower of the other channel said that they have not done it yet, unless somehow he missed that. They've done the 6-speed. So I may be the first one, and I will be posting that on Thursday. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping me help my channel break the internet, that'd be fantastic. So again, want you guys to just keep in mind the speed limit signs as we go up, the extra signage here. Again, depending on your truck, this truck can hit 26,000 gross vehicle weight rating depending on what you're towing. So you'll want to make sure you keep that in check. Again, fifth wheel tow max on this specific truck is 18.5 and my conventional tow is 16.4. So pretty good for a gas 3/4 ton. But as we round out here, the next video will be the steep descent westbound, so you guys will get to see how that handles that. Again, that one you can maintain your speed up to 60 if you really wanted to, but I think sometimes that can get out of hand, especially if you had a tire failure on your trailer or whatnot. But the eastbound descent, the road is just trash. It's complete crap. So I never go down that fast, because you'll see it if it grabs you, especially when your trailer is a conventional tow trailer, bumper tow, whatever you want to call it, and it gets you whipping. I've seen so many RVers be in crashes up here. Deadly, yes. Injuries, yes. So man, I just want to implore to you guys, if you're not familiar with the area, your truck you're towing, your trailer you're towing, everything like that, then just back your speeds off. And because you can always get more speed, but once you have too much of it, sometimes that's hard to mitigate. So all right, we're gonna pass a little camper up here probably as we head into the last little bit of the tunnel. Nope, some jack wagon's gonna come up here and not let me get over. So all right guys, there is the westbound ascent to the Eisenhower Tunnel. Speed limit drops to 50 through the tunnel most of the time. Again, they have those variable message boards so they can change the speed inside the tunnel. We'll get in there here in just a minute. I want to say thank you again for being here, and we will see you guys on the next one.